You know, in this playthrough, I didn't fight Margit or Godfrey. I totally like skipped them. At first, I thought that all the bosses along the line that, you know, you had to follow the graces and follow the stupid light or whatever. I never actually followed that thing except for like in the very, very beginning for Margit. But after that, I just completely forgot that line thing existed. And I just started just exploring after that. You know, and I thought you had to fight Margit in order to get through that castle, but you don't. Like, you literally just skip everything. So it's kind of crazy. I just really hope that open world game developers take a hint from this game, and they see that people actually like to have a game that's just fully open to do whatever you want to do. And I feel like the only real true open world game died back in Skyrim, because like after that, like no one ever did anything similar to that where you could just do whatever you want to do from the very beginning. You know, like even Breath of the Wild, you know, a lot of people praise that one, and I do also. But the biggest issue with that game is that there's a big ass tutorial that takes you like at least an hour to get through. Probably less if you know skip tactics, but I'm talking about just normal gameplay. You have to get through all that stuff just to get your glider, just so you can get to the real part of the game, you know? So that's kind of shitty. And this game never had that problem at all. This game, you could literally from level 1 go anywhere you want, you know, like aside from going inside the boss rooms, you know, but you could totally skip everything. It's so crazy. The side quests, there's all the NPCs to talk to. They all have their own personalities, and like it just makes you wonder, like you want to know more about them, and just it's just unbelievable how much content is in this game. It's just insane. I've never been this impressed with a game, you know, like at least at launch, because usually nowadays when a game launches, it launches either buggy as shit or with very little content, and then we have to wait like a good 6 months for everything to get updated and patched, and you know, all this stupid shit we have to deal with now, you know, and those are the moments that make me wish or miss the back in the day when, you know, Nintendo 64 and the Dreamcast and the PlayStation 2, where there was no like updating of shit, you know, like it was like there was, you know, a select number of games that did have updates here and there, but like for the most part, games were complete before they were released, you know. And I kind of feel like I sound like an old man when I talk about this, because it's like back in the day we used to have actual video games, you know, like I feel like that. But it's true though, man. Like, how are you gonna charge people $60 to $70? Because now games are $70 on the next gen consoles. I don't understand why it's $10 more. It still doesn't make any sense to me. It feels like a cash grab. But anyway, that's another topic. $60 to $70 on a game, and then the game isn't even finished. You know, like how are you gonna like make a game and then you can't even progress the story because the quest is bugged, or you fall through the floor, or like, you know, the silliest shit happens. It made me like completely get to the point where I was just losing trust in the video game industry completely. Like I couldn't even look at a game and justify spending $60 on a game until I saw like a lot of evidence that it was actually good, you know. And Elden Ring was the only exception where I was like, okay, day one I'm buying this game, and I pre-ordered it. And this is after Cyberpunk, because I pre-ordered Cyberpunk, and that game got me hyped too, because the developers talked so much shit about how amazing it was. This time with Elden Ring, I didn't look at any trailers, I didn't look at anything. I just knew that From Software always made good games, so I just put all my faith into that, and it worked out, because this game is freaking amazing, man. This is easily a modern day masterpiece. And I see a few people talking shit. I see a few people like making videos and talking all sorts of crap on Twitter and Reddit and wherever else, saying that this game is not a masterpiece and it has its problems. And yeah, every game has its problems. No game is perfect. But when I put a game on the masterpiece pedestal like that, it's for a good reason, and it's because I enjoyed myself immensely in the game. Like, It's been a really long time since I've played through a game, beat it, go through New Game Plus, and still find new shit I haven't found in my first playthrough. And still, now that I'm in New Game Plus and I'm gonna finish it again, I feel like I need to go into New Game Plus 3 and still find new things I haven't seen yet. It's insane. I have never seen a game with this much content and this much mystery. And I really hope that when new games start coming out, new open world games, that they keep this in mind and they actually make their games a little bit more mysterious. You know, like the difficulty part is a different story. You know, like this game can be rough at times, but it's not that bad depending on the type of build you do. You know, so like that's the thing that can totally break the game, because you can find some like crazy broken ass builds in this game that just destroy every boss, no problem. Aside from that, like I'm really hoping that more developers take this into a factor and start adding in, you know, extra little layers. Like, you know, like it's just the raw attention to detail that we see in this game that I'm hoping that new open world games implement. Like I'm hoping that, you know, you could look under the fucking rock and then there'll be like a whole ass cave in there with like so much other stuff, and then at the end of the cave it's a whole underworld of all sorts of shit. Like that's basically what this game is here. Like you'll get moments like that where you're just like, no, there's no way that somebody sat on their computer coding and designing all these things, all the different types of creatures, all like there's so much variety of shit. And yeah, there are some moments where you're fighting the same type of boss again but in a different area or whatever, but it's not enough to make me feel like, ah fuck, like this is recycled bullshit, like all they're doing is just making the same layout every single time, you know, because every single time I go into a cave I still feel like it's a complete mystery. I always like, even if there was like, let's say there was a guy hiding behind a wall and jumped at me the moment I came through the corridor, like in the next one it could be different. It could not be the guy there, and then it's a ramp that leads down and then I get ambushed on the ramp or something. Like, you know, like it's just the imagination that they put into all of this is the thing that's just unbelievable to me. And I really hope that new games actually start implementing that and start taking that into a factor and doing it. That's it. That's all I want. That's all I want is more creativity. Video games is an art form to me, and this is like basically that premise. It just shows that, like, just the artistry of this whole fucking world is insane. The amount of times that I wished that there was a photo mode in this game. Why is there no photo mode? Like this. Look how cool this looks. Like this shit looks insane. Like the body's hanging off the top. All this, like, what is this? You know, like somebody actually took the time to design all this stuff. And you can't appreciate it because you have to go through the menu to disable the fucking UI. And then to be able to take a picture is a pain in the ass when you're getting attacked by a dog like this. Like, it would be nice to have, like, just, you know, you freeze the camera and be able, like, and especially to get action shots of you, like, doing something cool and then taking a screenshot of that. Like, oh my god, yo, it would be so fucking cool. The biggest flaw is the no photo mode thing. But then the second thing, there's like no love for range stuff at all. This includes magic and also using bows. So if you wanted to play basically Legolas in this game, the only way for you to like legitimately have fun playing this is to cheat and have like unlimited ammo. Just shoot as much arrows as you want, because like the biggest thing with bows that sucks is that you can only hold maximum 200 arrows on you. Some fights, like, the bosses barely take any damage from your arrows. Like, you'll sit there fucking shooting at them for like decades and you'll get them like to half health, and then you run out of arrows and there's no way for you to craft while you're in combat, like, to get your arrows back. So then, like, you're just shit out of luck and you just gotta like either rest at a shrine or die and then reset and do it all over again, you know? So like, it makes it so dumb. And the same thing goes with magic. There's no talisman in this game, and there's no build in this game that would possibly help you regen mana while you're in combat. The only thing that works, and the closest thing I found, was there's a couple of talismans. Ones that, let's say when you kill an enemy, it gives you some mana back. that works for like 2 seconds, but it has to be like a huge horde of mobs for it to like legitimately work properly. So you have to kill like tons of mobs just to be able to get your mana back, so you could do like a handful of spells, and then you're out of mana again, and then you got to go back into, you know, like, so it just makes it trivial as fuck. Like, it's just, there's nothing fun about that. So that means you have to sacrifice your mana flask, like your health flask, for the mana flask. So you do this whole like changing of the flask thing, you allocate it, but you see, like, even me putting half and half, like, I'm losing a lot of health that I could have gained because maybe it was an intense fight and I run through all 10 of those potions. Then, you know, now it's gonna be even harder. So it's like basically you're putting the game at hard mode for trying to attempt to do a magic or a range build in this game. You know, this game was built from the ground up, and this is the same thing that goes with all the Souls games. The Souls games, they all focus on you being a melee guy. You know, just walking around with a shield and a sword. Like, that's the way to play these games, period. They never actually balanced it to make it like legitimate for any play style. You know, having a hybrid build works. So like using a sword and a shield and then throwing some magic every now and then, that works, because at least you're not reliant on the magic side of things. You're just doing it for shits and giggles. But to be like a all-in magic only or a range only build, you're asking for hard mode in this game, because you're going to be struggling to have to like replenish your arrows, because you have to go farming and killing like defenseless animals for like hours just to be able to get like enough arrows so that you could be able to like have a good time for like another hour or something, you know, like, so it's just a huge hindrance, man. And then the mana side of things too is a huge hindrance. I just wish that they made it more accessible. Like I just started playing Destiny 2 again, and I noticed like the very first weapon that they give you has unlimited ammo. You just gotta reload. That's it. You know, and then like you kill mobs and they drop ammo like all the fucking time. So it's like, so at least in that game, imagine if Destiny 2 or any shooter for that matter gave you like a very limited amount of ammo. Like you have like 50 bullets or something. Like, let's pretend it's like real life or something. You only have like one clip on you. You run through the clip, and then what do? You're gonna fist them, you're just gonna run around, just melee everything that's shooting at you tremendously, because you notice that the bosses in this game they're relentless in this game. They just start throwing magic at you like crazy all day. They never run out of stamina, they never run out of mana. So what about me? Like, I'm not allowed to have fun like they do? Like, shit. That's the shitty part about this game, is that like I wish they balanced it better. But yeah, those are the two major things that really suck. Another thing that sucks a lot is the multiplayer. Like, the way they set that up is shitty. If you see a golden sign pop up, that should be only for you. You know, like, that should just be for you or for like a handful of people, not for every single goddamn player in the whole known game that could click on that thing. Because the thing that happens is that you'll see a gold sign pop up, you click on it, and it says unable to summon, unable to summon, unable, and you gotta wait through this whole like loading time of it. So sometimes it'll say summoning partner, and then it's just going through the whole summoning process, and you're waiting for like fucking 30 seconds, and then it just says failed to summon. So then you have to do it all over again. And like, it's the most time consuming, dumbest shit ever for that. So the only way for you to legitimately have fun with the summoning system is to have like an actual real life friend that puts like a password, that's a cool thing that they added to this game, is that you can add a password and be like exclusive to only like, you know, a handful of people or your friends. So that's cool. But that's the only time that I've ever had like nice smooth multiplayer moments. Because like the summoning phantom thing, like it sucks ass. It's like terrible. And then like by the time you finally summon somebody after waiting like fucking 10 minutes for like finally somebody to come to your world, you go into the boss fight, you die immediately to the boss, and then you have to do all that all over again to find somebody again for 5 minutes. Like, no man, it's terrible. Like, the amount of times that I've actually like I put my sign down and I got summoned immediately to a world just for the host to die like literally the moment he steps through the door is like That's like the staple of like every multiplayer fight I've ever been in. It's just like that. Like it's literally 3 seconds. You don't get any progress because you have to kill the monster to like get runes. So like it seems so pointless to multiplayer in this game, you know, like it's really sad. So like I found myself when I first started playing this game, what I was doing was I was farming in this area. You see how this strip right here that leads up to Margit? What I would do is I'll put my summoning sign right here at Stormhill. Somebody would summon me. We'll kill all the mobs leading up to the boss room, and then I'll leave and then put my sign back on again, and then just keep doing that. That was basically my XP farm when I first started playing the game. I did that because it was risk-free XP. I didn't have to worry about dying because I just, you know, start up and then put my sign down again, you know? So it was good. But the moment that you try to fucking fight Margit in the beginning, like nobody got through Margit that easily. Like Margit was a nightmare. Even for me, it was a nightmare when I first started playing this game. So like, yeah, it was a really dumb experience. But other than that, man, I after beating every single one of these achievements, like I finally 100%ed the achievements, so I got that done, and I beat this game probably like 3 times. I think 3, maybe 4 times. I've seen the ending. So like that, it's pretty amazing that even after all this time and 100 and how many hours, 130 hours in this game, I'm still finding new things. You know, there's still areas I haven't explored. There's still places that are like hidden like completely that I've just never even knew existed, you know. And the only way that you find these things is by like seriously going to the wiki and like just kind of trying to find things. Like right now I'm trying to find bow stuff. So like I've never been to this area apparently ever in all the playthroughs that I've done. I've never been to this area. This whole volcano area actually was like something I started doing towards the end of my runs because I needed it for achievements. So like it was kind of crazy, all these areas that I actually found just from trying to complete the achievements on its own. So it's impressive, man. This game is so impressive. I just wish those little shortcomings, if those shortcomings were in the game, this would be the most ultimate video game ever made, period. You know, and it's so close to being that, you know. And having no photo mode is one of the biggest things that just ruins this game for me. Like I just think about the potential, man. And I don't want to download a mod. I would love for an actual developer to do it. Worst case scenario, I guess I would have no choice but to download a mod for photo mode, but it is what it is. Whatever. Anyway, that's my final thoughts on the game. I truly love this game. Easily one of my favorite games of all time. I'll put it right up there in the pedestal, right next to Zelda Ocarina of Time, right next to GoldenEye 007. Nintendo 64 killed it, man. Every time I think about masterpieces, I always think of a bunch of Nintendo 64 games. There was also the Dreamcast. I really loved the Dreamcast as a console, but it didn't really have a whole lot of games. So like I can't really put too many games on there except for like Jet Set Radio or Phantasy Star Online. Those were games that just kind of revolutionized where games were headed, you know? So like it's just kind of crazy. Like basically putting Elden Ring right up there with that is special, man. This game, it really is special. But anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.